welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me for another one of my videos. So this video came to me of you need to talk about this, and there's a very good reason why I need to talk about this. So today's video is all about what I would tell my younger self. So I've done a kind of very similar video of like 24 things I've learned in 24 years when I was 24, and as I approach 26 this summer, I'm like, yeah, that, and basically I didn't even think I would film something like this, because I'm like, well, it's obvious what I would tell my younger self, like just chill, relax, blah blah blah. But I have always had an idea in my head of how I would like to be when I have my daughter, and I was in my doctor's surgery a few weeks ago and I overheard there was this couple behind me with their daughter, and I overheard this whole conversation and it horrified me. So much so I realised, oh no, that's how I would be as a mother if I like want to do what I'm saying I want to do. And I was like, oh shit, that's like not good. And I felt really sorry for the daughter as well, because I thought, Jesus, like, does this girl have a say in her own life? So this is why, like, I really feel that I would like to speak in schools more, or speak with teenagers or kind of college students who are coming out of college, sixth form, whatever, about direction in life, about what to focus on in life, because I had no idea what the hell I was gonna do as a kid. I mean, I spoke about it in my book and I spoke about it in videos previously where I knew I had intuition of what I was gonna do, but like practically it made no sense. Like, I always remember I was in business studies and I was like, I'm gonna be the product, and they were like, Emma, you're talking shit, you can't be a product, like you need to create something. And I was like, yeah, me. And I got laughed at. I literally got laughed at. And I look back and there was so little support for people who wanted to go off into the employment world. It was all about university. It was all about going off to university. And when I was like, I'm not doing that, I want to go into employment and self-employment, literally I was offered zilch help. And at the time I felt very lost. I felt very let down by the educational system and the school, definitely. But it was all part of the story. It was all part of the motivation to prove people wrong and be like, do you know what? Sod you, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I had no real idea of what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to follow in my dad's footsteps and have a business, but I had no idea. I was always told I had to create a product. I had to invent something, and I didn't know what that would be. I had no idea, but I knew I would write a book, and I knew that from a very young age. And I always thought I was just gonna marry a celebrity. I was like, well, I'll be well known because I'm probably gonna marry a celebrity. And that's like my little young child self, because you know, to be well known back then, there was no YouTube, no blogging, no influencers. It was literally, to be famous, you had to be an actor, a singer, a celebrity, a footballer, something like that. And my little brain at the time just couldn't compute what I was kind of sensing, because it didn't exist yet. Quite frankly, what I was gonna do didn't even exist yet. And going back to this conversation I heard in my doctor's surgery, the mother was bragging that her daughter didn't have a boyfriend, and she was saying, I think that basically she was studying Korean or something. She like obviously was doing her GCSEs and she was doing stuff, and her mother was forcing her to continue with her Korean studies, and the daughter was like, I don't really want to. And you could just tell the daughter was like, oh, Mum, just stop, we're in the doctors. And she was saying, yeah, but you could go to Korea and you could like work in a museum and you could do this and you could do this and you could do this. And you could just tell the girl was like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can tell when someone's invested in a conversation and passionate about something, and she was just like, yeah. And I just felt so sorry for her, because I was like, oh no, it's one of those pushy mums. It's one of those mums. So I was just cringing for this girl. But then the worst bit was to come of, she then said, well, yeah, I've been speaking to all the mums at school, and you know, they applaud me that you haven't got a boyfriend and that I've done so well to raise you, because they've had all these dramas and all of this, and their grades have plummeted because they've had a boyfriend. And I'm just so glad that you haven't done that. I'm just so glad that you're focused on your studies and you're not wasting your time on boys. And I just thought, like, oh my god, that's me. And the reason why I say that is because I was so horrifically average in school. Like, I can't begin to tell you how unimportant and average I was. I wasn't stupid, and I did genuinely try in my studies. Like, I put effort in, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a logical person. I'm creative, so taking exams and stuff like that, I did my best. I did my freaking best. But I loved media studies, I loved art, I loved drama and performing arts, because those are my creative outlets where I could express my talents rather than have to fucking sound intelligent on a bit of paper and remember stuff all in one day. And my memory is like not the best of, like, it's not great anyway. So it's not that I didn't want to try, it just wasn't my purpose. Like, it didn't light me up. I didn't wake up and think, I want to have A stars. I was just like, I just want to get this over with and live my life. Like, not in a negative way, just I just want to go out and live life. I don't want to like be an academic person. It just wasn't in my DNA to be that way. Like, I'm a very creative visual person, so I'm just not academic. I learn differently to different people. Like, it takes me a while to learn things unless it's visual, unless it's creative. And maths, Jesus Christ, maths is like a different freaking language to me. Maths never computed with me, literally. Although I see like loads of numbers now and loads of, you know, and I've worked with money and I've worked in banks. So funnily enough, you know, maths has been quite a big thing in my life, but not how I thought it would. And I haven't had to use algebra, can I just say. You will never use algebra in your life unless you're a scientist. Don't let them fool you, kids. So what I want to do is like do this video today for parents and for young people. If you're in school, if you're in your teenage years and you're like, I have no idea what to do with my life, like, don't fret, that is okay. And the reason why I saw myself in this woman who was like bragging, basically like, well, yes, my daughter's got her shit together, like, you know, it's just fine, I get that, like, feel proud of that, but you're also like, I just felt like it wasn't the daughter's choice, that the daughter probably just wanted to be a normal teenager. But I'm like, oh my god, like, these people's grades are not failing because of boys. They're, do you know what I mean? There's so many different things, and I was always certain that because I did have boyfriends throughout school and they didn't distract me from my grades whatsoever, like what was meant to happen, but I did have my heart broken like any of us do going through life. And I thought, oh my god, like when I have my daughter, I'm definitely not going to encourage her to like focus on boys, like girl power, career. And I saw myself in this woman and I was like, thank you, universe, for showing me how I do not want to be. And I realized that just like this woman, I was going to be stopping my daughter from living her goddamn life how she wants to, and from experiencing love, experiencing life. And we can't play God with that. We literally can't. And I saw a quote afterwards which really like solidified this for me, in the sense of, before you have children, you need to heal your stuff, because you can't, I mean, I can't remember the exact quote. This is obviously just from my amazing memory. But it was something like, you need to heal your stuff before you have children, because you can't project onto them and try and make them live the life that you wish you had. And I guess I was like, wow, that's what I would have done. I would have encouraged her to focus on her career and academics and blah, 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 and not focused on boys, because that's what I did, and it didn't turn out too well. But I'm not gonna lie, it not turning out well was the making of my life, was the making of my career, was the making of everything you see today. So it was obviously meant to happen. And I'm grateful for those experiences, because it taught me at a young age exactly what I didn't want. It made me a strong person, and it gave me life experience. And that's why I feel I am so mature and I have gone through big things at such a young age, is because I allowed myself to have life experience. And it woke me up. That whole experience woke me up to, holy shit, Emma, you can't like be overprotective mother, because she's just gonna go and do it anyway. Let's be honest, if she's my daughter, like when my parents tried to be overprotective and told me not to do stuff, I did it anyway. So I mean, it's kind of the theme of my life. When someone tells me not to do something, I go and do it, and not in a bad way. Like as a teenager, it definitely was in a bad way with boys, tattoos and drinking. Now it's a sense of like, I've been told like, you're not gonna get this book published. Yes, I am. You're not gonna do this. Yes, I am. So it's kind of, you know, evolved into a more positive thing later on in life. But let's look at it like when I was at school, in the sense of, yes, I had boyfriends, and yes, they taught me a lot, and yes, I had my heart fucking shat on. Like, we all have been there. It is life. But I am grateful because it pushed me to go out there to prove everybody wrong and just be like, hey, no, I don't remember exactly what I got in my GCSEs. I think I got like 5 GCSEs of pretty much average C's, B's, pretty much. I think B was my highest one. And it was just, I remember crying. I opened up my GCSE results and I cried because I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I'm not even gonna get a job. Like, what am I gonna do? And I then went on to sixth form. I luckily scraped myself into sixth form, and then got, I think, C's and D's in media, drama and performing arts. So again, painfully average. And I came out of sixth form thinking, what the hell am I gonna do with my life? And I was told, like, I literally had just accepted my fate from what the school had made me feel, from what society had made me feel, and, you know, pushy parents like this woman. I was like, I'm just gonna have to accept that I'm probably just gonna like have a shit job for the rest of my life and probably not really succumb to much. Cool. So I literally went off with this negative mindset and just worked hard, and I enjoyed it. I'd worked hard since the age of 14. Like, I was used to working. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed money. It motivated me. And I went on to work in several careers. So to my shock horror, got into my bad relationships, as you know, and I started working in the bank. So I worked at Starbucks to start off with. Loved that. I actually think that was probably one of the best jobs I had because it was just so easy. Loved making coffee and loved chatting to people. So I loved that job. Then I worked at the phone company. Yeah, not a great experience. Then I worked at Lloyd's Bank. Not a great experience. And yeah, I just, well, it made me the person I am today, put it that way. So I don't know how the heck I got a job in a bank without a maths GCSE. So let's just applaud that first of all, because all the people who were like, Emma, to have any job you need a maths GCSE. I worked in a freaking bank as a manager at the age of 20. So I was like, cool, yeah, fab. So I was just really happy. I was like, well, do you know what? At least I can build off this. Like, my employers are loving seeing all my working experience, full-time experience, and my hard work and my sales figures. So I can just build up off that, exactly like my dad did. My dad didn't even have any GCSEs. So he has purely gone off his, like, life experience and work experience of his entire life, and he's had incredible jobs. So I guess I just prayed that that was going to be the same for me, even though the times are very different now, where education was the be all and end all. And yeah, I guess when I started my couponing business, I was like, okay, this is cool, like I like this, and I'm getting to do what I want, which is run my own business. And then I created that financial freedom for myself. I created an incredible business that helped so many people, and although my life was fucking falling apart at the time, I mean, it was falling together in the grand scheme of things, I felt proud of myself. I felt, yes, like, you can do this. You don't have to create a product. Times are evolving, times are changing, and I'm able to do what I want to in life. And again, I did that once I sold my business. So I sold my first business at 24. Do you know many people who do that? I don't. And I then obviously wrote my book, which is now a bestseller, and this is all by the age of 25. Started up another business, which is all of this, and you know, I've spiritually awakened and found a purpose in life, which is to help people. So oh my god, I've done all of this on 5 shitty GCSEs, literally. Like, I'm obviously grateful for my 5 GCSEs and my A-levels, but statistically people would look at that and be like, yeah, she's not going to do anything with her life. And it made me sad and angry at the same time. So do you know what, like almost going into my adult life without having that direction has been the best thing for me, because the universe was able to direct me. The universe was able to be like, hey, this is what we want you to do. Fuck school, fuck anything else. And I think like generally like the one thing I would say to all young people coming out is like, do what you want to do. Like, don't let anybody tell you can't do anything, because I am living proof of that. Like literally living proof of by the age of 25. So I left school at 18 after my A-levels. So that's what, 7 years. In 7 years I have created the biggest couponing and money saving site in the UK, sold it. I've written and published a best-selling book. I have created another business. I've created financial freedom and stability for myself. I live in my own house. I don't think I've done too bad, and I'm fucking proud of that. And I just wish that, fair enough, like I needed to go through this without the support, without the guidance to firmly and like be the person who I am today. But I think, God, if I hadn't have been focused on men were the whole reason I'm here. Like, as much as it was freaking annoying to go through that heartbreak, like without both massive heartbreaks in my life, none of these businesses would be here. So, you know, I'm kind of like thanking them, if anything. So it just proves that no matter what, like our life experiences are what shape our careers, is what shape us as a person. And it's not all about academics. Yes, if you want to focus on that, that's great, and I strongly suggest that. Like, I'm not saying just don't give a shit. Like, obviously, if you want to go and get those grades, like do that for sure, but live your life at the same time. Like, there is so much life to be living out there. And I know that I did some like stupid stuff as a teenager in rebellion, but again, it's made me the person I am today, and I've grown and evolved through so much, and I am just so excited to see where it goes. So I want to sit there and tell you, if you've had your GCSEs and you're like crying like I did, or your A-levels, or you don't want to go to university and you feel like you have no purpose, it's okay. Like, follow what feels good to you, follow where you feel drawn to. So mine was just simply going into employment. I had no plan, it was just employment. And from that, I worked down my life's path to where I am today. But I just wish the support was there back then. I wish the support was like, hey, this is what you can do. So this is why I feel so passionately about speaking to young people, because I feel there is no sense of purpose right now. I feel they have it way worse off than what we had it. And I just feel like I want to say to them, like, it's okay to not have a direction. Like, I was literally told I was never going to do anything with my life, so fucking proves them wrong. And I think, like, if I could, I know this video is more about like just motivating people more than like what I would tell my younger self, but what I would tell my younger self is like, fuck up, babe, because those fuck ups are going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, and you're going to look back and be like, thank God those things happened, because look at what you've got now. So sometimes our biggest mistakes in life and our biggest life lessons turn into our biggest abundance. And that has definitely been the case in my life. So all these life experiences, all these hardships, and all the kind of, you know, struggles that I went through to find myself, to find my purpose, and to even, you know, create my career is what has shaped me into the person I am today. So, you know, I just wanted to like turn around in that doctor's surgery, but like, girl, if you want a boyfriend, you have a boyfriend, because you are going to learn something from that. Like, we can't stop our children or anybody in our lives, or even ourselves, from living and experiencing life, because that's what we're here to do. At the end of the day, grades are great, but that when you die, like, you're not going to have your grades put on your freaking headstone, are you? Like, you know, what I want on my headstone is like, awesome mother, awesome wife, like awesome grandmother. She did some really cool shit in the world. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what's gonna go on your headstone. And that's what I say to people. I'm like, your grades, your achievements, your awards, that's not what a gravestone holds. Your gravestone holds you as a person. So your job is to find that person, to establish that person, to love that person and grow into that person so you can achieve your life goals. Like, yes, let's achieve the academics, the awards, the career, the money, all of the materialistic stuff, but we also need to achieve our personal goals of what we want in life. And sometimes to people that's just knowing who they are, and I know that's what it was for me. It was knowing who I was as a person and understanding what this intuition was, understanding all this weirdness, why I always felt weird, I didn't fit in with people, and I finally understand that now. And that was what my life's purpose was. That was what my goal was to find those answers. So, you know, I just wanted to turn around and be like, hun, if you don't want to do Korean, don't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can do it later in life if you want to do it. You know, don't feel pressured and don't listen to your mum. Like, obviously our parents have great advice. I'm saying do listen to your parents sometimes because they do hold good advice, I promise. But forcefulness in that way of like controlling and feeling proud that your daughter's not living her life, I just thought, oh my God, that's who I would have been, and I don't want to be that person. So I'm grateful the universe showed me that. So I could be like, oh my God, if I was that girl, I would be so pissed with my mum. Like, I would be going out and seeing boys like without her knowing anyway. So I think like life experience is so valuable. And especially when you're coming out of school and even in your teenage years, like you're finding yourself, establishing yourself and trying to work out who you are as a person. And the only way you're gonna do that is to live life. Maybe that means you're gonna have your heart broken. Maybe that means you're gonna be betrayed by your friends or a family member or whatever. Maybe that means you're gonna cry. Maybe that means you're gonna feel hurt. Or maybe that means you're just gonna be freaking happy and make some awesome memories. But either way, like, these are the things that we carry with us, not our grades, not anything. We carry these memories with us. Now, I do wanna stress that obviously like having good grades will get you places in life, but I am proof that that's bullshit as well. Like, if you want something, the universe will make it happen. Like, I knew I wanted to write books. I knew that what I was going to do was going to be well known, and none of my qualifications or grades have helped me do that. Not one bit, literally not one bit. I worked in a bank with a D maths GCSE. Like, the universe wanted it to happen. The universe like had to guide me down that path to get me where I am today. So if you want something bad enough, like, you will find a way to make it happen. The universe can shift freaking mountains. So if you haven't got the grades, if you haven't got whatever it is you need, obviously like look into whether you can do that, or you feel inspired to do that further or explore it further. But equally know there is always another way. There is always another way. There is always a plan B, and you will always get to exactly where you're meant to be. So if you have received your grades, if you are feeling like I've got no idea what I want to do with my life, follow your intuition. Don't go to university if it doesn't resonate with you, if it doesn't feel good, because oh, I would have been in a right mess. I would have been 40 grand in debt right now, which I wouldn't have really wanted to start my life off at. And I wouldn't have had all the life experiences which led me to be the person I am today and what I have. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. So what I would tell my younger self is to give less fucks. Like, give less fucks, because I cared so much back then. And I, you know, even up until a few years ago, I cared so much what people thought of me. And now, like, I'm still working on that for sure, but I'm definitely at a better place where I'm like, I know who I am. I know who I am, and anybody else who tries to tell me different, cool, yeah, whatevs, don't care. So I think I definitely, and I think regardless of people, like life situations, jobs, everything, I just would have given less fucks and been happier. Like, tell myself to like just be happy, enjoy this life, do the crazy things, because they're gonna lead you eventually to great things, even if it gets you in trouble. And would I change anything? Would I tell her anything to change anything? Absolutely not. I would say go wilder, if anything. I would say fucking enjoy all of this. And I would love to sit there and say, by the way, there's probably quite a lot of life lessons that are probably gonna suck over the next few years, but hey, it all works out afterwards. But I think if I prepared myself for it, I probably wouldn't have gone through it. So obviously you can't really warn yourself of like big life lessons. But I think I would just say, like, listen to your intuition over anything. Like, you may not understand spirituality right now, you may not understand what the hell these intuitions are or feelings, or why you feel connected to your nan, or why you think you're seeing your future daughter. Like, don't sweat those things, like, they'll come to you. But enjoy life, like go and discover who you are, and the only way you're going to discover that is through going through life. Like have fun, go out, live life to the fullest. So I think I would have said like give less fucks, say fuck it more, and just do stuff, have more confidence in what I'm doing. And I think I would just say like trust, because like literally everything is going to work out, and if it feels like it isn't, it's not over yet. So I think I would definitely say that. And I think also I wouldn't change anything, even though things have like sucked. I definitely wouldn't change anything in my life. But I guess my advice to like anybody watching this is to say fuck it more. Like always trust that wherever you want to be, you will get to, as long as you trust and you take inspired action. So don't just sit there and expect it to come to you, but equally trust that there's another way. If it feels hopeless, if it feels that you can't do it, or you feel like you haven't got support, there is another way. And it may be that you're led to a different career altogether. It may be you're led to something different. But yes, stereotypically you're probably gonna have your heart broken, but there is like great strength that comes with that. Trust me, like it's happened a few times to me. I've had great strength, and I know myself more than I have ever known before. So for me, like that's the greatest reward. Although it sucks, you learn so much about yourself, and you learn so much about life, and obviously I've learned so much about spirituality from it, that I can find that inner peace. I can see the bigger picture, and I can trust. So whatever you want to do in life, whatever it may be, do it anyway. And if you're scared, do it scared. If you haven't got the grades, do it anyway, because trust yourself, trust your own discernment. Like if you've got maybe pushy parents like this woman who I overheard, then just be like, this is my life. And you know, I realized that I didn't want to be that woman projecting onto my child, like, because I love my life experiences, but what I was like projecting on was the fact that it'd been a little bit of a rocky road with men, and I didn't want her to go through that, which is, you know, all parents want that. No parents want their children to suffer or get hurt. But ultimately, if that was her life path, I just have to be there to support her more than anything. So if anything, I thank that experience for happening, because it taught me that I didn't want to be that woman who's forcing her child to learn Korean. So I definitely think just really check in with yourself and see what direction you want to move in. If you have no direction like I didn't, do what feels good to you. Is that going into employment and just having some money right now? Because that's okay too. Like that is really okay. And that then led me down the path to knowing what I wanted to do, knowing what career path I wanted to go down. So sometimes, you know, following those breadcrumbs and sometimes going into something which you may have not thought you wanted to do can lead to better opportunities and greater opportunities. So if you do go and work in a call center or a shop and you're like, this is not what I had planned, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're gonna learn some great retail experience, you're gonna learn some great customer service experience, and that may lead you on to your next job, which could lead to your dream job. So just see it as one step at a time. Take one step at a time and just hold that vision of what you want to do. And then outside of your work, look into what you want to do. Find yourself, live your life. Like, don't sweat how it's all going to come about, because you've got so many years to establish that. Like mine, I'm really blessed, like fell in and clicked really early on in my life. And that was just what was meant to happen. But you've got time, like you've got so much time, and just really trust your intuition and trust what feels good for you, because this is your life. No one else is going to live your life but you. So it's everything I would have told my younger self, to just be herself, just be like, be weird, be crazy, do what you want to do, hun, because it's all going to work out anyway. And I think I would just say, like, you will be so strong after this. And I get emotional because, like, I always wish I could tell my younger self this, of like, don't fret what's gonna happen, because it's gonna happen anyway, you've got no choice. But don't fret what's gonna happen or what could happen or any of the things that like you think could happen, because they will all happen, but it will be good. Don't worry about what others think about you, because that's an insecurity in them. Like, don't, like, you're probably gonna get shat on. I'd probably say that you're probably gonna get shat on, or you do get shat on by quite a few people, but that's no reflection of yourself. Like, it just makes you a stronger, more caring, more loving person, which is gonna be the best mother, the best wife, and the best friend, and the best daughter, and whatever to people. So just know that everything that's happening is like happening for a reason, and just give less fucks. Like and I think my younger self will probably be like, okay, I didn't really care anyway, what you want about this is like really spiritual and really profound. I'm not gonna be like a monk, am I, when I'm older? I think because I was so concerned about settling down really early on in my life, I think that's why my career flowed so well, because I had all my energy and like all my energy focused on wanting to settle down, that my career was able to flow. So it's funny how it kind of like flipped, but I'm super grateful. Like I said this on Instagram recently, I'm super grateful that it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, because now I know myself so much more. I've created financial stability and I'm doing what I generally love, so that I can teach that to my daughter and my children as well, like that, to live your passion, to live your life. And if I'd had my children first, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. So remember, like, life works in mysterious ways, but you will always look back and see the bigger picture. You will, in hindsight, look back and be like, oh, I'm so glad that happened, or oh, this is the best thing that happened, or there is a great reason why that happened. So you may not understand it at the time, but I promise you, if it's 6 months, if it's 12 months, if it's 2 years, you will look back and understand everything. And life just has a way of like supporting you. Life has a way, the universe, whatever you want to call it, has a way of supporting you, holding you, and guiding you to exactly where you're meant to be. So trust in that. And you know, if you're watching this video and you've got no idea what I'm on about, like, check out my other videos on law of attraction, check out my videos on the universe and spirituality, because it's not as woo-woo as it sounds, I promise. And it, you know, learning this at like such a young age will, oh my god, be so amazing for you. So it will help you to maybe find that direction, to find who you are as a person, and to understand yourself more. So I hope this video has helped you. I feel like I've rambled, not really sure that it's what I would have told my younger self, but I have definitely said what I would tell my younger self. And I think just overlooking everything, like, I hope that it would inspire someone who is younger than me, who is coming out of school or taking their GCSEs or taking their A-levels on direction, on purpose, that it's okay to not know what you're doing. It's okay to feel lost. It's okay, because these are the years where you're finding yourself, you're finding your purpose, and you're finding out everything. So you are going to feel lost, you are going to feel uncertain, but that clarity comes when you choose to look for it. So simply follow your intuition and follow what feels good to you, and say fuck it more. Live your life, live your life's experiences, and just trust that at the perfect time, like, whatever is meant for you will always find you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all, and I will see you in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love, guys.